kids. Dr. Freedom here with you, bright and early. Well, it's not even bright out. You see, it's stupid daylight savings time crap. I still can't figure out how it's the 21st century and we're still using something that was, put out like how many hundreds of years ago or whatever it is, for time telling, when meanwhile there's several states now in the union that don't even do daylight savings time anymore, yet everybody on planet Earth, at least on this side of the hemisphere, has to. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. I just wanted to pop in early this morning because, um, like I said, I got to quit letting people, live rent free in my head. And I keep telling people, that's why do you think I block people? Why do you think I mute them? Why do you think? Because just, I had one guy going off about how I was somehow infringing his right to free speech because I blocked him. And I'm like, yeah, you can say whatever you want. I don't have to listen to it. That's my right. And I had somebody coming on spouting this nonsense again. Little JT in his comment there on the Facebook page. And it's like, when is this stuff going to stop already? When is this, constant, campaign against Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker going to finally come to a surprising halt? It's gotten old already. It's like they've already both said they're leaving. RTD's coming in, to take over for the 60th anniversary, and he's taking over for season 14. Plus, we find out that the series is going to be co-produced by Bad Wolf, which is possibly being bought by Sony. And we can only hope that means there's going to be a budget increase or, something major along that line, because as we all know, the BBC is in trouble. A lot of people don't realize that. Like, they've been going on this week, well, the Doctor Who didn't hit 4 million on the overnights. And I'm like, yeah, and meanwhile, you had other shows, I think it was like Coronation Street, used to average like 12 million viewers, and they're barely making half that now. Ratings are down across the board, children. And like I said, they were going off about last week, and it turns out that, yeah, that episode didn't score as high as Spyfall, but it did beat most of Series 12 in the ratings numbers. Plus, it got a 26.9, it was like close to a 27 share, which was up 5% of the overall audience, which is what counts. And it just amazes me because they take all these numbers out of context, because you have certain armchair experts out there who now, who probably haven't read a single thing about the BARB or anything like that, don't even know what it means. They have no idea what the numbers mean. All they see is this, yeah, I agree with you, Chris. If they don't like it, nobody is forcing you to watch it. Like, we had one guy wrote an article for, I think, I can't remember if it was like Screen Rant. It was one of them weird offsites about how he felt obligated to watch anyway, even though he didn't like it. So, there's shows that, I used to like that I quit watching because it went off on tangents I didn't like and all that. Plus, I lost track of it. It just happens. Sorry, if I don't like something, I don't watch it. Like, to give you a classic example, I've had people writing at me to go watch Star Trek Discovery and all this other stuff, and I'm like, folks, I've had little to no interest in Star Trek since the what happened when they rolled out the new movie and stuff. It's like, I didn't make it. See, I watched Into Darkness, but after watching that, I didn't even want to watch Beyond. I didn't bother. If I don't like it, I won't watch it. It's that simple. Yet these guys watch every single episode and complain. It's already been confirmed. Chibnall and Whittaker are leaving, and they're still complaining. I'm like, it's like, so even when these, I don't want to call them names, but, oh man, it's like, even when the, mental 2-year-olds have been screaming, I want this, I want that, gimme, 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 and they finally get what they think they want, yet they're still complaining. Well, yeah, I agree with you there. I'm sorry, I didn't catch all the comment, but yeah, they exploit the algorithm. Yeah, I just couldn't get into, yeah, Mr. Critical. I couldn't get into the new Star Trek. Even I don't care how good it was. Plus, after Simon Pegg came out and told fans who didn't like his movie to F off, that right there, well, I wonder why the box office dropped on that movie. Maybe it's because one of your stars, told the audience to F off if they didn't like it. I don't know. But, yeah, First Contact was good. Like I said, I liked that one. I just got to remember where I put... Oh, there you are, Mr. Vaporizer. So I was just getting ready to run into work. I figured I'd spend a few minutes, I love that. So this guy comes on the Facebook page. I notice you've been defending Chibnall a lot lately. And I go, yeah, and I defended Moffat, RTD, and I said, and I can list the whole name going all the way back to Cardinal. The showrunners back then, in that era. Yes, but they didn't F up the show as much as Chibnall has. And I'm like, have you even watched Classic Who, dude? It's like, did you watch Time Lash? Which was, to me, one of those. Oh, man. Did you even watch Warriors of the Deep? Where the Merca, looked like, oh, God. The Merca, that's one of the most infamous, blunders in Doctor Who history right there. It's like, did you even watch Love and Monsters, in the modern era? Did you watch Fear Her? And those were all under RTD's watch in the same season? You see what I mean? It's every series is going to have, episodes that look like a good idea on paper, and then they turn out, not to be as good as you thought. It happened on Babylon 5. Like I said, one of the most infamous being, I think it was Grey 17 is Missing or something like that. And that one came out to be a total disaster. Even JMS admits it. He goes, yeah, that was one that looked good on paper, and then it did not turn out as well as we thought. But it's like, I love how, that when people got caught out for the Jodie hate, then it became, it's not Jodie's fault, it's the writing. And it's like, everything's been bad since Chibnall came over. And I'm like, Chibnall didn't write every episode that's come on, except for this series, where apparently he's he's co-written the whole series with he's written most of the episodes himself. One coming up soon, he wrote with the writer who wrote The Haunting of Villa Diodati. But I like how the story shifted. We're not misogynist, we're not so hardcore traditionalist. We just think she could have been written better. And I'm like, folks, Chibnall didn't write every episode. This isn't like Patrick Ness with Class, where he's the only one to blame for the show's failure. I love how now, years later, he's jumping him down going, I knew the show wouldn't be renewed. It's like, dude, you skipped out before they canceled it. You pulled the ejection seat lever, but the plane had just wasn't even landed yet. The missile hadn't even gotten a lock on, and you were out of there. It's like, because it just did not come out well, at least not for me. As I try not to hate on people who like Class, but I'm like, oh man, that was a disaster. That was a train wreck. Just the usual stuff, Mark, only they're trying to step up their game, and I like it. And when you block them or ignore them, they play the victim. It's like, oh, that evil man, he is so brainwashed. I go, really? Next thing you know, you're going to be telling me my toilet paper is telling me to conquer the planet. Ugh. Meanwhile, these are the guys who are saying their sci-fi program is dictated to them top secret political motives. And I'm like, ugh. Well, and what I love is how everybody, especially the naysayers, keep trying to downgrade, Cavanista, by saying get ready for this, he's a rip-off of Chewbacca. Now, somebody accused me of getting hostile yesterday on Twitter, and like I said, they may have come off that way, because when you're writing on that, it comes out of context. I'm like, dude, I was just stating facts. For one, he looks nothing like Chewbacca, other than, oh, look, it's a tall guy in a hairy suit. That's it. He has more of a head like a dog. He speaks perfect English. He doesn't speak Sherwook or some other language. You know, he's not 7 foot something. You know, it's like, yet they keep saying Chibnall's ripped off Chewbacca. And I'm like, Cavanista is not a sidekick either. And he's actually, like I said, Chewbacca was an interesting character, don't get me wrong, but Cavanista's great. Yeah, like you said, there's nothing wrong with him. But the naysayers are claiming, now get ready for this. This one that had me dying laughing on Twitter. All you have to do is watch Frontios in the classic series, and then watch Hungry Earth Cold Blood, and you'll know how much of a plagiarist Chibnall is. And I'm like, so now if you use anything that remotely looks like something that happened on Doctor Who in the last, going on, 50-something years. Matter of fact, it's 58 years coming up on the anniversary this year. Then you're a plagiarist. It's like, do you know how many things have been done on Doctor Who since, it began? It's like, then they complain because this reminds you of something, and then blah, blah. I'm like, what? Then that means the guy who put out the movie The Burrowers ripped off somebody else because, they came up out of the ground and grabbed you. Now, yeah, there's talks, Mark, that they're going to try to wiggle Lungbarrow into this thing. And I don't know how they're going to do that if they do. But, oh, well, I just realized it's getting late. I got to get into work. So please, folks, don't listen to them. They like I said, I was dumb enough to, actually believe this person maybe after the last couple episodes. Like, there's a lot of people out there who are hating on the show for the last couple of years who are praising Chibnall to the high heavens now for the first 2 episodes of Series 13, aka Flux. And that caught me off guard, because that's what's really making me feel better, is they're finally waking up and going, this ain't too bad. It's killing their mindset. Well, I got to get into foot work, folks. I just realized this is normally the time I get up and run in, so I'm sitting here in the parking lot. So take care of yourselves and each other, and remember the words of the 12th Doctor, just be kind. That's all you got to do. Just be kind. Take care, everyone.